The show starts with servants just doing servant things, making fires, tidying up, polishing the silverware, and ironing the newspapers. In case you're wondering why the newspapers are ironed,
Why are the papers ironed?
What's it to you? To dry the ink, silly. We wouldn't want his lordship's hands to be as black as yours.
the family finally wakes up. We have Robert Crawley, 7th Earl of Grantham, his wife Cora, and their 3 daughters, Mary, Edith, and Sybil. The newspapers are late today for good reason. The Titanic has sunk, and most of the family reacts with the emotional intensity of someone else's dog dying. That is, until Sybil brings in a telegram. Before we move forward, quick crash course on the British nobility. At the top, we have the King and Queen, the Dukes, Marquises, Earls, Viscounts, and Barons. Unlike royals and a few baronies, noble titles cannot be passed down through a female line, meaning that Lady Mary is not her father's heir, at least not to the title.
Oh, Lady Mary was the heir.
It was a girl, stupid. Girls can't inherit.
The intended heirs were Robert's first cousin, James Crawley, and his son, Patrick Crawley, but apparently they were on the Titanic and seemed to have sunk with it too. Additionally, Patrick was engaged to Mary in private. Mary's reaction to the news kills me.
Does this mean I'll have to go into full mourning?
The family goes into full mourning, and discussions about inheritance of the title quickly pop up. The only male heir is Matthew Crawley, a third cousin once removed to Robert, who lives in Manchester and works as a solicitor. We meet the Dowager Countess, Violet Crawley. She is not thrilled at the idea of everything her family owns going to a complete stranger. So she proposes this instead: make Mary the heiress of the Downton estate and all the money, but she cannot inherit the earldom. This means that there will be no more Earls of Grantham once Robert dies, but at least Mary inherits all her mother's fortune and the estate. Cora agrees with this, but Robert does not. Meanwhile, downstairs, things are heating up. Robert's valet, Mr. Watson, has left, and his replacement is Mr. Bates, a soft-spoken man with a limp, injured during the Boer War. Mr. Bates and Robert go way back, and Robert hires him out of loyalty. Most of the servants are concerned Bates won't be able to pull his weight and they will have to pick up after him. Others, Thomas, are just mad. Thomas is a footman who thought he had the valet job in the bag after filling in temporarily. Instead, he's back to being a footman. So, he and his partner in crime, Miss O'Brien, begin plotting against Bates. They both do their best. O'Brien Bates to Cora and Thomas to Carson. Downton gets its first visitor, the Duke of Crowborough. His valet is ill and he asks if he could borrow one of Robert's servants. Carson offers, but wait, he recognizes Thomas and picks him instead. As they're entering in, not want to waste an opportunity, O'Brien knocks Mr. Bates down in front of everyone, publicly humiliating him. Mary and the Duke have met before and she's really flattered by his attention, not to mention the prospect of becoming a duchess. The Duke asks to explore the house with Mary in the most non-suspicious way, and she obliges. The Duke rummages through the rooms of one of the footmen, and they are caught by Mr. Bates. While Mary is ashamed and offers her deepest apologies, the Duke isn't embarrassed in the slightest. That evening, Robert, who's been doing the most to defend Bates, cannot do it anymore after Bates's fall and lets him go. During dinner, Edith, in peak tattletale mode, brings up that the Duke and Mary were snooping about the attics unchaperoned. She is implying that they were doing something they weren't supposed to. Everyone looks uncomfortable. Mary looks like she wants to vanish into the wallpaper, but Edith cannot help herself.
I still don't understand. Will you hold your tongue?
Edith, read the room.
Anyways, once the Duke and Lord Grantham are alone, Crowborough brings up Robert's dead heirs and offers his condolences. His intentions are pretty clear: to marry Mary for her money and save his dukedom. When Robert explains that he isn't going to make Mary his heiress, he drops any intention he had of marrying her and scuttles away. Later, we find out what's really been going on between the Duke and Thomas. They're not just a valet and his master, they are
gay.
They keep talking, and we see Thomas's reason for having a relationship with the Duke. He wants to work as a valet, and when Crowborough refuses to take Thomas as his valet, he threatens to leak the letters these two have shared.
You mean these?
So this is why he snuck into the servants' quarters with Mary to get these letters just in case. He manages to burn all the letters before Thomas gets them, and he walks out hurt and defeated. The next morning, the Duke leaves Downton. Bates is also about to leave, but Robert stops the car and tells Bates to stay. So obviously, Thomas and O'Brien are fuming. Thomas probably thought he had the Valet job secured, but now he needs to do more. By the way, I really did enjoy the Duke's plotting, coming to Downton to check if Mary was her father's heiress and then potentially marry her and get rid of the letters that could possibly incriminate him. This man is really clever. This show is honestly one of my all-time favorites, and I cannot wait to recap all these episodes.